respected teachers, distinguished colleagues, esteemed guests, welcome you all in this first international.
Ali.
Hello. Today's event is a testament of power of collaboration bringing together a strong network of dedication and individual united in fight against diabetes. Lylpur Diabetes Foundation, along with Primary Care Diabetes Association, are honored to have the support of esteemed partner Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, Faisalabad Medical University, Pak Korea Nutrition Center, and Pakistan Academy of Family Physicians. Uh, Today, our first session, our first lecture, it will be presented by Dr. Jamal Zafar. Before I will invite Dr. Jamal Zafar, I would like to invite the panelists, our respected panelists. First of all, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Zafrullah Chaudhry Saab. Sir, please come and honor the stage. Thank you very much. Our second panelist, Dr. Sarfraz Saab.
Ali.
Dr. Muhammad Arif Saab. Sir, please. Professor Dr. Imtiaz Ahmed Dogar Saab. Sir. Dr. Yusuf Ikram Saab. Dr. Professor Sarfraz Saab. Sir, please. Now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Jamal Zafar Saab for his presentation on diabetic foot. Sir, please come and present your lecture. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusallihi ala rasulihil kareem. Uh, uh, you know, this is the opening wicket on opening innings. So I think this is a very, very important topic, and all the doctors and all the nursing and paramedical staff should be well versed with this topic of diabetic foot. It is the most common cause of prolonged admission in the hospital in diabetic patients. So these are my disclosures, and this lecture is I'm doing on basis of this Ferozans. So these are my table of contents. So the enormity of the global burden of diabetic foot disease, this much neglected but potentially devastating complication of diabetes disease that is reaching epidemic proportion. ये 2005 में ये लैंसेट में पब्लिश हुआ था कि समवेयर someone loses a leg because of diabetes every 19 seconds of every minute. every 19 seconds someone, this is in 2005, and we are seeing much more amputation nowadays. You must have experienced, this is 19 years ago. So what is the definition and criteria? This is infection, ulceration or destruction of the tissue of the foot associated with neuropathy and or peripheral vascular disease in lower limb of people with diabetes. So this is the precise definition. It is in definition of International Working Group on Diabetic Foot. What is the pathogenesis? This is multifactorial. It is neuropathy, it is vasculopathy, it is immune dysfunction and infection. So initially, if there is uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, these complications arise very early in the patient with diabetes mellitus. So prolonged hyperglycemia. So that is where your expertise come. That you as a physician, primary care physician or secondary care physician, you should be controlling the blood glucose level and hemoglobin A1C level very well, so that patients don't develop the complication, or if developed, they should be delayed. So this is the complex interplay of factors. Vasculopathy is on the top, motor neuropathy is on the left, and then there are immune dysfunctions, and these all finally lead to amputation. So in neuropathy, if you see, there are loss of protective sensation and loss of position sensation. In motor neuropathy, you see muscle weakness and foot deformity. When the muscles are weak, there is a clawed toe, there are hammer toes, and all those deformities develop due to that. And when there is autonomic neuropathy, you know, there is foot blood flow regulation is due to autonomic nerves, and there will be dry and stiff skin. And finally, these all lead to foot ulceration at the weight bearing, mostly at the weight bearing area. So vasculopathy this is basically accelerated atherosclerosis. Diabetes, hypertension, obesity, age, dyslipidemia, smoking, these are all risk factors for vasculopathy. So if anyone want to prevent or reduce the complication of diabetic vasculopathy, patient should be having all addressing all the issues in the patient. So these are the motor neuropathy and foot deformities. You can see the claw toe, you can see the hammer toe, you can see prominent metatarsal heads. And then this motor neuropathy also can give rise to Charcot joint and collapsed plantar arches and Hallis valgus deformities. So you commonly see and come across all these complications. You must have seen all these things in your clinical practice. So this is the stage of ulcer development. The first thing is there is shift of fat pad of the foot slightly forward, and that gives rise to pressure on the head of the metatarsal, and that first gives rise to erythema and edema, and after that there is development of skin breaks, and then the development of ulcer occur. So this is the first presentation, and if you prevent this presentation by giving a good footwear to the patient, you can avoid this complication. So these are the basically risk category which is from 0 to 3, and in the 0 there is no loss of protective sensation and no peripheral artery disease, and as you go on, there is loss of protective sensation, peripheral artery disease along with amputation and all those things. So these are the risk categories, and you assess the patient according to the risk categories. So primary prevention is very important. In primary prevention, adequate metabolic control, as I already mentioned, that you should control the blood glucose, control of hypertension, management of hyperlipidemia, counseling about smoking cessation, which is a very difficult thing. So these are the simple tool which you are required in the clinical practice to assess the neuropathy. And vasculopathy you can assess by your fingers, and after that you can do the Doppler, handheld Doppler. You can do the ankle breaker index, and that is the only thing which you require. You don't require any rocket science, and you don't require anything more than that. So primary prevention is the most important, और ये मैं चाहूँगा कि तमाम डॉक्टर्स बड़ी अच्छी तरह सुने. Wash the feet daily and dab to dryness. Don't rub. Important चीज़ है कि पाँव को रगड़ना नहीं है. Apply emollients such as lotions, oil, Vaseline. Avoid using chemicals, agents or plasters or any other technique to remove callus or corns. This is very important. Dry the feet after washing for wuzu, after wuzu or after taking bath. ये बड़ा important है. हमारे यहाँ वज़ू बार-बार लोग करते हैं, and then in the interdigital area they don't dry it up, and that give rise to fungal infection and all those things. Also dry the feet in the interdigital area which I mentioned. Then important thing is daily inspection of the feet for any ulceration or discoloration is also very very important. So आपने उनको बताना है कि जी शाम को एक दफ़ा आपने अपने पाँव का मुआयना ज़रूर खुद करना है. अगर आप खुद नहीं कर सकते और आपके कोई जॉइंट डिफॉर्मिटीज़ हैं तो अपने किसी बच्चे को कहें, अपनी वाइफ को कहें कि वो आपके पाँव का अच्छी तरह अंडर द सोल और ऑन द डॉर्सल सरफेस पे आपका मुआयना करें. Never walk barefooted. This is very very important. Never walk barefooted in socks without shoes or in thin soled slipper, whether indoor or outdoor. अगर आप barefooted walk करते हैं तो क्या होता है? This is one of my patient जो जुमे की prayer के लिए गया. He did not find a space inside masjid, and he offered the prayer in the courtyard of the masjid on the marble, and this is the complication. So this is the importance of keeping your feet. You shouldn't be walking barefooted even in the masjid. You should have some padded socks if you want to go to the masjid and offer the prayers. This is very very important. So I especially brought this patient pictures so that, and this patient has to be on bed and crutches for 2 to 3 months. After that he recovered gradually, and alhamdulillah we saved the amputation. Then don't sit in front of the heater. हमारे यहाँ खैर यहाँ पे शायद इतनी सर्दी नहीं पड़ती. हमारे इस्लामाबाद रावलपिंडी में उधर नॉर्दर्न एरियाज़ में इट्स वेरी कोल्ड. और मेरे कई पेशेंट आगे मुझे बताएं कि जब हमें बदबू आई तो हमने देखा कि कहाँ से बदबू आ रही है, तो पता चला अपना पाँव जल गया है. So this can be the complication, क्योंकि neuropathy, this pain cessation is basically a blessing for us, and when the pain cessation goes, one can have all these problems. Don't use hot water bottle for warming the body. Use blankets for warming. Socks. नायलॉन की सॉक्स नहीं इस्तेमाल करनी चाहिए. This is also very important. उसके बाद nails जो से है ना, ये जो इसको स्ट्रेट काटना है, जो जिसमें क्रॉस लगा हुआ इस तरह नहीं काटने, साइडों से नहीं काटने. You have to cut the nails straight so that the skin doesn't get cut. Don't try to cut any callus yourself. If it is there, you can go to the podiatrist. Buy the shoes in the evening because the feet become heavy during the evening time. Morning time पे ज़रा पाँव थोड़ा सा वो लाइट होता है, रात को हैवी होता है. दिस इज़ नॉट दैट हैवी फुट जो कि ख्वातीन में होता है, लेकिन ये जो है ना हर बंदे का पाँव शाम को थोड़ा सा हैवी हो जाता है. तो इसलिए जो है ना आपको पाँव शाम को शूज़ खरीदना चाहिए. वैसे तो आजकल 12 बजे के बाद ही शॉप्स खुलती हैं, तो मेरा ख्याल है वो इतना बड़ा मसला नहीं है. Shoes should not be very loose or very tight. New shoes should be worn for smaller period of time during one initial phase and gradually increase the duration of wearing. मैंने कई दफ़ा देखा है, एक पेशेंट ने नया जूता खरीदा और 12 घंटे पहन ही रखा और अगले दिन ही came with the foot ulcer. This is very important. Always consult the physician in charge in case of any minor injury or ulcer. Always ना हमें ये टीचिंग मिल चुकी थी। तो अब वो कहते हैं कि जी सारे आप कोई देखें कि उसके अंदर कोई ऐसी चीज़ ना हो। तो ये दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. And always avoid diabetic footwear to a person with loss of protective sensation and peripheral artery disease. This is also very important. लेकिन हमारे सेटअप में प्रायोरिटी डायबिटीज़ फुट की प्रायोरिटी बहुत, the patient don't want to buy. They will spend on other things, but if we ask them to buy a footwear and a sole, they will not buy it. This is my personal experience. And then treat any pre-ulcerative sign on the foot of the patient with diabetes. This includes removing callus, protecting blister and draining when necessary. This is for doctor, this is not for the patient. Treating ingrown or thickened toe nails and treating hemorrhages when necessary and prescribing antifungal treatment for fungal infection. So these are all important issues which we have to. So it is a multidisciplinary approach. ये सिंगल बंदे का काम नहीं है, इकल्ले बंदे का काम नहीं है. इसमें मेडिकल, उसके बाद डेडिकेटेड सर्जिकल टीम होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि इसमें ज़रा पे कम होता है, तो इसलिए आमतौर पे सर्जन्स आर यूजुअली नॉट वेरी मच इन्वॉल्व इन दिस. जनरल एंड वेस्कुलर सर्जन, देन ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन, then the podiatrist. We have a very few podiatrists in Pakistan. I am lucky enough that I have one of the podiatrists with me, and he has made my life easy. So podiatrist is very, very important in this setup. And footwear specialist, and finally a psychiatrist. When there is amputation, or when you want to do the amputation, there is a very big psychological trauma for the patient. So at that time, you need the help of the psychiatrist. So what are the principles of management? Evaluation of the patient. These are important things. Look for the danger sign needing urgent intervention. And then that is the, we will discuss the danger sign later on. Glycemic control is very important, as I already mentioned. Long-term care after wound healing is very, very important. Once wound gets healed, you should be taking long-term care. Redness and swelling of the foot that even when neuropathic cause some discomfort and pain. Normally neuropathy में you don't have the pain, लेकिन अगर slight discomfort और pain हो तो इसका मतलब है there is something wrong inside. This often indicated developing abscess and urgent surgery may be needed to save the leg. बहुत important है कि न्यूरोपैथी में अगर पेशेंट कहता है जी मुझे तो पेन फील नहीं होता है, मेरे नमनेस रहती है, पेरेस्थीसिया रहते हैं, और उसके बाद ऑल ऑफ ए सडन वो कहता है डॉक्टर मुझे डिस्कम्फर्ट आ रही है, रेडनेस हो रही है, तो ऑलवेज गेट अलर्ट. सेलुलाइटिस इज ए इंटरवेंशन नीडेड, डिस्कलरेशन एंड क्रेपिटस इफ गैस इन द सॉफ्ट टिश्यू दैट आल्सो नीड अर्जेंट इंटरवेंशन. एंड पिंक painful pulseless foot even without gangrene indicate critical ischemia. So critical limb ischemia को आपने diagnose करना है early, कि अगर पिंक फुट भी हो ना, पेनफुल हो, और उसके क्योंकि पेरिफेरल वेस्कुलर डिजीज़ के साथ न्यूरोपैथी समटाइम हो भी सकती है, लेकिन इसमें नॉट बी नेसेसरी दैट पेशेंट माइट बी हैविंग न्यूरोपैथी. सो आपने फॉरन क्रिटिकल लिम्ब इस्कीमिया का सोचना है, एंड अर्जेंट आर्टेरियल इन्वेस्टिगेशन फॉलोड बाय सर्जिकल इंटरवेंशन इज नीडेड. In a patient with peripheral artery disease in the life-threatening situation, when the patient has septicemia, patient has life-threatening situation, patient is having low BP due to septicemia, so amputation first and vascular intervention afterward. This is very important कि अगर आपको किसी patient को life-threatening situation मिल रही है, आपने पहले amputation करनी है और उसके बाद vascular intervention करनी है. लेकिन अगर नॉन लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग सिचुएशन है, जिस तरह पेशेंट को जो है कोई ऐसा इतने ज़्यादा इशू नहीं है, फीवर ज़्यादा नहीं है, सेप्टिसीमिया नहीं है, तो यू कुड गो फॉर वेस्कुलर इंटरवेंशन फर्स्ट एंड देन गो फॉर द एम्पुटेशन. एंड क्लीन अल्सर रेगुलरली विथ क्लीन वाटर और सेलाइन. हाउ मेनी टाइम लेफ्ट? 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. You should clean the ulcer with water, dress them with a sterile inert dressing in order to control excessive exudate. कोई ये यानी एक्सेसिव चीज़ें होती हैं, डिब्राइडमेंट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट जो आपने करनी है. इन जनरल रिमूव स्लफ नेक्रोटिक टिश्यू एंड सराउंडिंग कैलस विथ शार्प डिब्राइडमेंट. कंसिडर द यूज़ ऑफ ऑटोलॉगस लिकोसाइट प्लेटलेट. ये आजकल PRP बड़ा कॉमन है, लेकिन ये रिकमेंडेड ये है कि पीआरपी जो पेशेंट अफोर्ड कर सकें, जिसमें इन्फेक्शन ना हो, वूंड हील ना हो रहा हो, उस पेशेंट में करनी चाहिए। और इसकी मॉडरेट वो है एक जो इसका इफेक्ट है। एंड डोंट सेलेक्ट एजेंट रिपोर्टेड टू इम्प्रूव वूंड हीलिंग बाई अल्टरिंग द बायोलॉजी ऑफ द वूंड, ये नहीं करना आपने। उसके बाद कंसिडर द यूज ऑफ सिस्टेमिक hyperbaric oxygen therapy even though further blinded therapy is needed for that. उसके बाद आपने टिश्यू कल्चर शुड बी सेंट बिफोर दैट, ये पस कल्चर नहीं भेजना, टिश्यू कल्चर ज़रूर भेजें, और टिश्यू कल्चर की यील्ड बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, ठीक है, दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। और उसके बाद आपने ये एंटीबायोटिक का कवर है, इसमें एंटीबायोटिक में एनारोब्स भी हैं, ग्राम पॉजिटिव, नेगेटिव, एरोब्स और एनारोब्स सारे कवर, और बाज़ का मल्टी पॉलीमाइक्रोबियल और एनारोब्स भी आ सकते हैं उसमें। And these are the factors affecting the choice of antibiotic. In the interest of time, I am not going into the detail of it. Osteomyelitis के लिए ये है कि perhaps the most difficult aspect in the management of diabetes, और surgical intervention उसमें चाहिए होती है, and impaired healing of the every overlying wound also occurs and act as a focus for recurrent infection. तो ये जो से क्राइटेरिया हैं जो उसके हैं, और एंटीबायोटिक की ड्यूरेशन जो सी है दैट शुड बी 2 to 4 1 to 2 weeks in mild infection, 2 to 4 weeks in severe infection, और अगर ऑस्टियोमाइलाइटिस है तो even 6 weeks or more than that. Antibiotic can be continued even if even the sign and symptom of infection has resolved. Secondary prevention में है, after healing of the ulcer there are more chances of recurrence, so secondary prevention is most important. Metabolic control, again control of hypertension, management of hyperlipidemia, smoking cessation. Or routine wearing of appropriate footwear is very important. So these are the results. If you properly manage the diabetic foot, these are the results. On the left side, patient came with this condition, and on the right side, after many months of treatment, patient has improved too much. But after that, patient need a good footwear. This is another patient, 53-year male. This was admitted with me last week. Duration of diabetes 3 years, minor trauma at the right heel, and over next 2 weeks he excessive foul smelling discharge and no evidence of peripheral artery disease. Mild sensory neuropathy. This was the picture of that patient, and when we discussed with the surgeon and when we did the MRI, it was found that there was excessive destruction of the muscles and everything, and we have to go for below knee amputation in this patient, because if you don't save the heel, there is no point in